Overwatch Apex Season 3, energized by Hot 6, Round Robin. Today's matchup, Meta Athena, Rhinos Gaming Wings.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's another night here at Apex Season 3. My name is Wolf. With me is Achilles. We will have our final matches of the round of 16 tonight, and afterwards we will have our group selection. So the quarterfinals, the round of 8 will all be decided tonight.
Yeah, so a lot of stuff to go over right now. But first, we need to figure out what our final team moving forward into that round of 8 is going to be. It's either of these here on your screen, but there's an asterisk on that little mention right there, because Rhinos Gaming Wings need a 3-0 if they are going to take that second seed out of their group, which just, given their recent performances, does not look very likely for them. So backs up against the wall very much, like we saw from Mighty AOD, who did manage to take down Kongdu Panthera with a 3-2 victory, but they also needed that 3-0. So unfortunately for them, didn't make it through. Now it's Wings' chance.
It's the mirrored situation of Mighty AOD, and now you can just look at this team and wonder what they've brought today, what they're going to show today, as basically every single map for them is going to be sudden death. They face elimination if they lose a single map. So if they're up 2-0 and they lose a third set, obviously they will be eliminated there. So there's a lot of added pressure, whereas for Meta Athena, all they have to do is just win a single game. So for them, the pressure's off, and they can experiment a lot here. So really tough for Rhinos now, but they're going to have to try their best tonight. Their entire tournament life, of course, is on the line.
Yeah, I don't know how much we're going to see as far as experimentation goes from Meta Athena, though. Probably going to keep that stuff close to the vest. They don't want to expose too many of their new strategies, because we know these guys like to innovate. They like to find these weird ways to work their way around the map, get these big flanking points. So I think they're going to play this one very just concisely and not really expose themselves too much here. So I expect just measured performances from them, probably a lot like we saw from their past matches, against Envy, against BK Stars, where they picked up that victory.
I think we might see them run a lot of Hoon Zarya, for example, because you have to expect that they're moving away from this trend right now, because it was working decently for them in the past, even worked longer than other teams, but they ran into that big roadblock with Envious, was the first team that they struggled against, starting on Volskaya. They haven't really been running that much of the Sombra either, so you have to expect they've been preparing these strategies, preparing for this new meta. We don't even know what the meta is going to look like after the new patch, of course, but what they're preparing probably won't be shown today. They'll probably show us back to the normal, less Sombra, more Hoon on the Zarya, things like this. That's what I expect to see from Meta Athena.
Yeah, I mean, Hoon and Zarya, they just go kind of hand in hand, you'd have to say. So not going to be any surprises if we see that one locked in for him. And that's going to be a big key spot for Meta Athena to kind of take the reins of this match, is going to be with their tank line, with Hoon on that Zarya. Because on the other side of the spectrum, Rhinos Gaming Wings, Umte, not having a good time.
No, definitely not. So as you guys can see here, all of the groups have been decided besides D. This is the final match that will decide everything. Of course, we will have a match later on that is about just basically pride. But Mutakai, Kongdu Panthera out of A, Afrika Freaks Blue, and X6 out of B, LW Blue, and Combox out of C, and Envious, of course, with their 3-0 of the group. With a tough win, mind you, over Meta Athena, will take first place in Group D.
Yeah, so just got to figure out that last team from D before we move forward. Like you said, kind of like a consolation match, I suppose, and maybe a bit of a time for Afrika Freaks Blue to intimidate everybody else going into that group draw stage, because as it stands right now, they can hold a perfect record at the 9-0.
So as you guys can see here, Meta Athena needs that big 3-1. That is Rhinos Gaming Wings needs a big 3-0. Every other score still results in Meta Athena advancing. If we look at the win down there at the bottom with Rhinos Gaming, even if they win with a 3-1 or a 3-2, it will still be a Meta Athena advance. They will tie with a 3-0. I mean, it is down to the wire. If they get a 3-0, they tie with Meta Athena, but because they won the match against Meta Athena, that would put them in direct comparison to be the better team, and that's why they would advance out of Group D.
Yeah, exactly. They'd win that head-to-head, so need that 3-0 victory to kind of just inch their way in right on the backside, right before we go into that group draw. So it's going to be very unlikely. Rhinos has not looked very good, even with their unique strategies that they've been trying to pull off with the quad DPS. Mango even just flexing over onto that Tracer quite frequently. We've also seen the Torbjorn coming through, particularly on the assault maps. But going up against Meta Athena, almost making it into the final of Season 2, getting so damn close, and even though they haven't been as strong as we saw them in Season 2, they are still going to be a force to be reckoned with. So, backs against the wall for Rhinos Gaming Wings. Very unlikely result for them to move forward, but that hope is still alive until at least that first map goes over to Meta.
That's right. So our second match, just to mention it very briefly, will be between Uncia and Africa Freaks Blue.
Just throw it in there right at the end. It's like, yeah, you know what, Africa Freaks Blue.
So there's obviously this match doesn't matter for either team since Blue is already out and Uncia is already dropped down, but the big benefit, of course, of prize money, the fight money that we have here at Apex, is so that matches like this do actually matter more than just pride. There is money on the line.
This is true.
So, you always have to have something like this in the round-robin group stage. Otherwise, games definitely look a little bit peculiar. So I do like the addition of the prize money since Season 1, that fight money that's added in. So that's going to be really what's on the line. And pride, of course, for Africa Freaks Blue, who are currently undefeated. They haven't dropped a single map in this tournament.
Yeah, it's like one of the first seasons that Envious knows what fight money is because Taimu hasn't gotten them fine this time around. So.
Not yet, anyways.
So there's still time. We still have the round of 8 and the playoffs to go, so Taimu could definitely find an opportunity to get that done.
Speaking of which,
they've been accruing some nice little cash for themselves in the meantime.
Oh, I thought it was showing the prize money down there. I was going to say, speaking of which, so you could see it down there, but it actually just shows the standings of the groups.
Rogue got $3. And then they lost $3. That's exactly what happened. Now, so everybody, they walk away with a bit of fight money at the end of the day.
That's right. So even if you lose, you get some money, but it's about the big money and winning. Because there's a lot of Meta Athena fans coming out to support them tonight, especially the Hoon fans are in full force. They definitely have the larger portion of the crowd this evening for the first matchup, and I know a lot of Uncia fans have shown up as well. They're kind of in the Uncia waiting room, so to speak. Despite Uncia being out, there's a lot of supporters here. Yeah. And a fan of Korean caster YTB, on the other side as well.
Also a fan of Mercy, it would seem.
Yes.
Coming out with the
We were trying to figure out that hat earlier, but we came to the conclusion. Oh, that's the best cosplay I've ever seen. Whoa. That's magic.
Lifelike. That's actually, it's pretty creative though. Good job with the goggles, having the little, the little yellow tinted film going over it.
Yeah, it's really well done. Sometimes all you need is a mask like that, and you could become an Overwatch.
I want to see a full-blown cosplay like that at like BlizzCon or something. It's all just like paper.
Yeah, just tape something over yourself. Yeah, that's a pretty creative sign there as well. Sticking the 3 signs together for Meta Athena.
I mean, hell, we had that massive sign just the other day. For Conbox Spirit, I believe it was, that stretched across 7 seats. Had to hold it across the row there for the audience. So the fans, very dedicated. They back up their teams even through losses. So even the wing side of the stadium, while it's a little bit thinned out comparatively to Meta Athena, there's still plenty of people there to show their support.
That's right. So this match is very important for, of course, Rhinos, especially to get that 3-0. Meta Athena needs to win it win a single map. We're going to take a look at the video for these two teams before we jump into best of 5.
서로 간의 역할, 시너지가 전혀 나지 않았어요. 위축된 플레이가 나오고 있거든요.
같이 3탱 싸움 할 줄 알았는데 트레이서도 되게 잘하고 인스턴 디바도 강력해서 좀 많이 버거웠어요. 강도주춤하게 막고 하다가 좀 계속 타이밍을 뺏기지 않았나.
메타 아테나는 이펙 선수에 대한 대비가 아예 안 돼요. 역시나 자리아 작업을 하지 않으면 좀 약하다.
역수입이라고 하죠. 저희도 이제 처음 당해보는 거라 멘탈적으로 흔들린 것도 있고 굉장히 전 시즌과는 다른 스타일이라 상대하기 까다로웠던 것 같아요. 라이노스가 저희하고 굉장히 비슷한 팀이라고 생각해요. 3탱을 엄청 좋아하는 팀이었는데 메타가 바뀌니까 의미가 없어졌거든요.
동병상련이죠. 근데 돌진에는 저희가 메타 아테나보다 좀 더 적응을 잘한 것 같습니다. 그러니까 저희는 일단은 콤보라도 자주 쓸 거고 홈수수가 안 되는 트레이서나 솔저 같은 것도 제가 좀 더
피지컬적으로는 솔직히 모르겠어요. 저희가 챌린저에 있을 때 충분히 이겨먹기도 하고 퓨리 선수만 어떻게 묶으면은 저희 팀 홈 선수가 많이 날뛰지 않을까. 라이너스는 저희를 8강을 올려주기 위해 기조에 온 팀 같습니다. 정직했나요?
영웅 많이 하는 걸로 알고 있는데 겐지가 좀 많이 약한 것 같아서 더 연습하셔야 될 것 같습니다. 저희가 이제 이 텐데 힘들게 올라온 만큼 잔류를 할 수 있도록 최대한 노력하면서 경기를 임해야죠.
오늘 경기가 저희한테는 굉장히 중요한 날이에요. 모든 걸 쏟아붓고 꼭 이기겠습니다.
there you have it. Meta Athena very confident going into this best of 5 as the crowd roars as their faces come on camera.
I mean, they have every reason to be confident coming into this matchup. Just, not even off their own performances. Getting reverse swept definitely going to be mentally shocking, as they said there in that video. But that was against a team like Envious, who's topping the group right now, going to be one of the favorites moving into the round of 8. So you can't be too shaken by that. But the performance against BK Star is really good, and Rhinos Gaming Wings have pretty much looked very abysmal in their games, only picking up one single map against BK, getting 3-0'd by Envy, and really only kind of squeezing their way into the promotion tournament itself. So it's been a tough road for Rhinos Gaming Wings, but it should be a very easy one for Meta Athena to find themselves into that round of 8.
You really have to assume so, and they're not even going to run Alpha. Actually, it'll be Changshik starting on main tank, which I feel like in terms of tanking, he's been the better player historically, especially in Season 2, where he was the main tank player. Of course, moving to Season 3, they switched Alpha and Changshik around quite a bit. I feel like Alpha's biggest weakness was his Reinhardt play, often charging very aggressively, not really finding any windows, any opportunities with some of his charges. They even sub Changshik back in that previous match we talked about against Envious. So definitely kind of bringing their A team today in terms of Changshik. Rhinos on the other side, as far as my data tells me on the sheet, will actually be running Tyrant today on DPS and not Envy. So we'll see how well he can play, as he does not have a lot of televised matches, a lot of play time. So debuting this player in a match where they're unlikely to win, but maybe he's the star player that gets them the 3-0 they need.
I mean, that would be one hell of a debut, really, for Tyrant to come out. Of course, they have to play him on the day when they're not playing against Envious, just to really tick me off, because that was a fun one going back and forth, Envy versus Envious. But Tyrant, we'll see how he can hold up as he comes out. Needs to be the star performer here for this squad if they're going to be picking up a win. Even if it's not a 3-0, a win from Rhinos Gaming Wings would at least instill some confidence for these guys as they get ready to go back into the promotion tournament.
Based on the interview that we had, Rhinos Gaming felt they were better at the dive comps overall, and you might even be able to make an argument for that being the case in terms of what Meta Athena has shown us. They've avoided running a dive comp most of the time, so perhaps they just aren't that good at it. They've seen it in scrims. They've played against them, as I said, several times in challengers before both of these teams rose up to Apex, so maybe Tyrant is the Genji player they were looking for, and they want to use him solely on the Genji, as Envy was sometimes forced to flex with Oxo in the picture, as well as Mango sometimes flexing onto that Tracer. So maybe bring in a main Genji player here, or perhaps a main Tracer. Only time will tell.
Let's see where he's going to hop around. But I mean, Meta Athena, they say they have a game plan coming into this one. They're just going to focus down Fury, get rid of him. They say that they don't have to worry about anything else. Just let Hoon go on fire, just take the entire map with his Zarya play more than likely. But taking a look here, you can see Libero flexing up a little bit, does play over onto that side of the Diva as well as the Pharah. So can move into that tank front line and then also offer up that projectile DPS for the skies.
Last time Meta Athena faced a new DPS player who played his very first Apex game, the results were, obviously in Envious's favor. It was Effect who was starting for Envious in his very first televised match. Perhaps Tyrant can repeat a similar performance here, but again, it has to be a 3-0. Can't be the reverse sweep that Envious had. They have to be flawless today.
I mean, that's a really big ask and a lot of pressure on Tyrant's back to have a similar performance to what we saw from Effect. I mean, obviously the first two maps, everybody's saying like, Effect, maybe he's not the change that they need. Hulk wasn't the problem. Those are the memes coming in, from the chit chat on the, the competitive Overwatch subreddit. But then you hit that game 3 point and suddenly Effect just starts popping off, destroying people alongside Taimu. And it really just put Meta Athena in this catch-22 situation where it's like, who do you focus? Because if you go for Effect, then Taimu's there to rip you apart. If you go for Taimu, Effect is there to rip you apart. So it really did provide that awkward position for Meta Athena. But they say, you know what, we only have to worry about Fury. So this should be considerably easier for them.
Sure, perhaps not expecting Tyrant to be started today, as it is his very first televised match here for Apex, but a big ask, because even though Envy is still available to sub in, you can only sub after the first game, so if they lose it, then that's going to be rough. They will, of course, have the opportunity to sub them if they win the first set, but usually if you're dominating, if you're winning, you don't want to be subbing, you want to be sticking with your roster. We normally see subs after losses, with some exceptions, so just really interesting to me. I feel like Tyrant is going to be the X factor that we have to look into today, even though, yes, Fury is the one that everyone's talking about, focus down Fury, etc. When you have a new phase in such a critical match like this, you have to really praise or criticize the player's performance. We're going to our first match. It is going to be the control map, of course. We're starting things off on Nepal.
All right, so this could be a bit interesting here. Depending on if we do end up on Sanctum, maybe we'll see that Orisa come through. On either side, wouldn't be too shocked if Meta Athena had been practicing that one up, so maybe we'll see that make a bit of an appearance. Otherwise, should just be pretty standard stuff here from both sides. Rhinos, I expect to just see something like the triple tank as they move forward here. Going for the quad DPS going to be maybe a little bit risky on something like King of the Hill.
Sure. Oxo has shown really good Tracer and McCree on this map, especially on Sanctum, as McCree is he's really well known for it. So I think this is a good map that actually Rhinos will be very happy with.
At the same time, you can talk about somebody doing really well on McCree, doing something really well on these hit scan heroes, but on the other side, it's Saya player, who has been one of the best hit scan players that we have in Apex. For Season 2 and 3 now, he has still been holding up in his performances. So tough asks all around for Rhinos Gaming Wings to pick up a single map to get themselves into that round of 8 with a 3-0 victory. We'll see if they're able to do it. I'm doubtful, but I'd like to be shown otherwise.
Let's find out. It's our second David and Goliath story here at the end of our group stage. Meta Athena versus Rhino Gaming Wings. Let's jump into Nepal.
I get it.
All right.
Here we go. Game number 1. It's game time.
Yep. Fans are pumped, ready to go. Pretty packed audience here, especially for a Tuesday evening, you'd have to say.
That's right. It is a holiday here, and fans are going to come down to watch Overwatch on their days off.
This is true. I never know what the holiday is. What's today's
I don't
holiday?
actually. I think it's Veterans Day, actually, if I'm not mistaken. So, honoring our troops here. And we'll see if this is going to work out. Obviously, Hoon, an amazing Zarya player, so it's no surprise to see him on the Zarya. Although if you've not watched Meta Athena play this season, you might be surprised to see him. This has just been kind of standard business as usual for the team that kind of moves away from the meta, sticking with their namesake there.
It's going to be the 2-2-2 here from both sides. Side player and Tyrant both going to be on the Soldiers. So we'll see how Tyrant holds up against Sias. Against his accuracy in particular. At the moment, just going to be wrapping around this. Onto this high ground on the right side. Big dive in comes through from Umte. It's chunked out quite a bit, has to peel back, but already the pick's starting to come through here for Winx. They finish off Chunk and Saya player, so good opening for Winx to get themselves onto the point.
Yeah.
US also going to go down right at the end of the fight.
Looks like just good targets, actually good focus fire there from Wings when they did send Umte in. We're going to see Libero go ahead and reset here. But when you have this dive, this is why dive is so strong right now. If you actually call out a target, jump on him. In this case, it was Libero, or sorry, it was the Ana. They focus him down immediately. And that's the win. Now they take this first important point, and they have the ult economy lead.
I see a lot of shifts actually coming through here. Side player moving off the Soldier 76 now onto the Tracer, trading that one with Libero as he moves over to the Genji. So they're going to try to match this with the dive comp as Nuss goes over onto that Zenyatta rather. So they have those Discord orbs so they can focus down Umte and Fury. Already some openings coming through here. Moon on the Diva, able to finish off Mango.
So switching to the dive here. And looks like just even trades here in terms of picks. Side player going to knock the mech out though. This could be the retake. It is. So, gonna just get the slow reset here onto Fury's Baby Diva.
Yeah, he makes it off the map. Doesn't want to get delayed or anything here. Get that stagger coming through, so manages to jump off the side. Get gathered back up here. 34% accrued for the side of Wings.
I was worried for
retake
Meta
comes through.
Athena there for a minute when they couldn't actually defend that first attack, especially with the Zarya on their side to add the bubble, to add the shield, but they seem to have just switched right into a standard dive in, or doing just as well with it, so showing the flexibility in the series already.
Yeah, Chansik goes in deep here, drops down the bubble, keeping himself safe and topped up for the most part. It's going to be the sound barrier coming down from Grizz. And Oxo just firing away, throws out the pulse bomb, looking for a kill. Not able to find one, actually. Chansik gets Mango on the exit, does get taken down by Amy, snipes him out. The auto attacks there, now the self-destruct thrown down. Triple coming through from the side of that with the help attack visors. They finish off Libero. And Meta Athena, they just get absolutely shattered. Wings will have the retake. 46% accrued. Wings are going to be able to match that very swiftly.
Yeah, very quickly. Not completely all of everything used, but a lot of ults used there. On the side of Meta Athena, they don't have the Dragon Blade, but they will have Transcendence. Chongshik did use the Primal Rage, but it looks like there wasn't anything to pair with it in this fight. They don't have the Ana. They don't have the ability to use that Nano Boost to actually allow the Winston to carry that fight with the ult advantage. So, or the issue here for them. And also that self-destruct was pretty amazing.
Well, that's going to be Transcendences coming down on both sides. Zenyatta's just having a little bit of a dance here as we fight into the corner. Couple members of Wings going low, and Hoon's going to toss out that self-destruct. Can he find anything? Not this time around. But still, the pickoffs are coming through. Both supports on the side of Wings have fallen. Nuss does go down as if they answers one, but dangerously low. And it seems like it's just an inevitable retake here for the side of Meta Athena.
Fury being focused down again, so Fury wasn't there to protect against all the damage that was coming out from Sayaplayer. Sayaplayer does eventually die here to Fury at the end, actually, and the baby, it looks like the baby version of Fury at the end, but knocking the D.Va out of the fight meant no protection against that Tracer DPS. And as you can see, I mean, no one could really turn and chase that Tracer and lose the fight anyways, and just got too much damage done on the backside. Pretty close first point, though, to be sure, as Chongshik's about to have that Primal Rage. He's going to jump in to secure it.
Yeah, hasn't had the pop it yet, the sound barrier, keeping him alive for an extended period of time. Now going forward with it, just smacking everybody into the corner, just completely locks down Tyrant. Will be able to take him out, and that's going to stop down any push that Wings were looking to have. Umte, knowing that he was just going to be dead, needs to regroup with his team, jumps off the side of the map, and Meta Athena now taking a lead. But like you said, really close, very back and forth so far in this match. But Meta Athena with the Dragon Blade available could be a big one for them. Straight in the back line, Sayaplayer doesn't quite find the tank, but it locks right in onto Mango as that initial miss comes through. Sound barrier down from Wings, trying to keep themselves alive, but Libero going forward with the Dragon Blade comes up with a kill on the Tyrant. They're just going to be locked in towards that spawn. Amy trying to delay as best as possible, but he should get taken down here. Fury, the last-ditch effort as he tries to hold on, gets popped out of the mech, but it looks like this is just going to be Meta Athena taking Sanctum.
Yep, that's going to be it. Self-destruct comes in just to secure it, and that will be them taking the first point. Curious on the crowd here. Now, Tyrant, you know, I don't feel like you can really say one thing great or bad about the guy so far just off of this first point, but it feels like
in the game.
But he didn't play Genji, which, you know, we were wondering which hero was going to play. We're still seeing Oxo on the Tracer, and he's playing Soldier. So in normal situations like this, running this composition, Rhinos Gaming Wings would have had Envy on the Genji, so we'd be matching almost mirror compositions here. But the Soldier play, again, it was forgettable. It wasn't amazing, so this swap for them so far, even though he hasn't been playing specifically poorly, the Soldier over the Genji here has not been a successful swap.
Yeah, really the one thing that we did see was a couple kills picked up with Attack Visor. I thought there was a triple kill for the self-destruct, but it was actually one of those Attack Visor kills coming through for Tyrant. But outside of that, we didn't see much, but now we're going to have a bit of a mirror, you know, the mirrored comp starting to come through here.
So speaking of which, Tyrant is going to be on that Genji, as you just said, with the mirror comps coming over. Let's see if this is the reason why he was subbed in for this important match.
Oh,
Mango, though. Mango.
Yeah, just going to get jumped onto the backside. The melee hit's not going to connect, and everybody just comes pouring over trying to help out this Zenyatta. He's still going to fall, though, as Hoon picks up the kill. So a bit of a misplay there by Sayaplayer, but he makes up for it by taking down Tyrant. In the meantime, though, Wings trading back pretty evenly, about a 3-for-3 so far, as this point does unlock. And Meta haven't quite been able to get the take in, but Oxo, he goes down. Everybody else getting picked off. You can see Wings are going to have to just go ahead, regroup with each other. And this will just give that initial cap over to Meta Athena.
I think it was an overcommit by the Wings to dive in to try to save Mango. He should have died anyways, and so I guess he was probably yelling in comms, like, save me, I'm actually really low, maybe we can turn this fight, but they overcommitted everybody there, and then Sayaplayer was given so much room to work with, as Fury wasn't able to block those shots. He was already able to find the pick on the Mango in the first place, which shouldn't have happened, but I think snowballed from there when Rhinos Gaming Wings kind of donated several members by diving in to try to save him.
Speaking of diving in, that's going to be Hoon pushing forward. All immediately gets taken down. Discord Orb doing wonders on that D.Va. And here comes Chonsik just pushing straight up into the face of Mango. Takes him out, now pops that Primal Rage, trying to get a smack off. A map onto Amy, can't quite find it, but he still gets picked off by Libero at the same time. And just with that minor ultimate investment, it's going to be Meta Athena coming up with yet another one fight. So just Primal Rage, all that they need to hold on to the point.
So many ults available, though, for this next push, and this is when Tyrant's going to have to show his very first Apex Dragon Blade, as he does have it available.
It's going to be tough, though, because that Transcendence is available from Nuss, so
they're going to try to have to pop that first, although Sayaplayer once again finds something in the backline, or at least looks for it here. Doesn't actually sneakily sneak in. Now he does.
Dashes forward, yeah, looking for a pulse pump target. Hasn't quite found anything and is respecting that defense matrix from the D.Va. Doesn't want that to get consumed. And they'll just go ahead and just push forward. Invest their own Transcendence, and just cut right through Wings.
This is so important. I mean, Wings are on their tournament life here now. They're going to have to make this push work. They're going to have 4 ults to do it. Side player, if he gets a pick, that might be it.
I mean, now there's going to be the opening there for Tyrant with the Transcendence being down from Nussa. We'll see if they can find anything. Transcendence comes out here from the side of Mango as they just try to push forward, try to get away from the spawn, but Libero, Dragon Blade drawn out, dashing forward.
They can't even really get out of the spawn here, Achilles. I think this might be the beginning of the end for the Wings.
Certainly looking that way, especially with the stagger coming through now as Amy, the only one that gets picked off, but everybody else going to be contained back into the choke points. And Saya player looking for another pulse bomb. Primal Rage does get popped here by Umte. He leaps in onto the point, keeping it in overtime, but still getting this
Tyrant's
turnover.
down. No Dragon Blade.
Yeah, it looks so very unlikely. Umte doing his damnedest, has to leap back out the overtime, starting now to tick down. And Wings can't get into the point, and that's just going to be Nepal very swiftly going over to Meta Athena.
And not only Nepal, but this means that with the win for Meta Athena, they secure their spot in the round of 8. This was very likely from the outset. The control map was going to be the most important one. And Rhinos gaining Wings, they made a gamble on running Tyrant here. And again, I don't want to say that his play was poor, but it looked overall weaker. He was less impactful than Envy normally was. So to switch them out here may have been a mistake by the Wings. In that last game, he never got to place the Dragon Blade because the coordination to get everyone together for that final push wasn't there. And when they started to stagger the respawns, when they started to trickle in, 3 at a time, 4 at a time instead of 6, Chris with the raised hands there. Look, Meta Athena just kind of kept them in the spawn, and they could never have those pairing of ultimates. They didn't want to use them to commit to get out of the spawn, because then they wouldn't have had them for the retake, so I can understand their hesitation to commit those ultimates down, the Dragon Blade, the Sound Barrier, but just the better mechanical control, the better overall playmaking and ult coordination for Meta Athena.
Yeah. Well, chattering for the side of Rhinos Gaming Wings. Now their round of 8 hopes completely going to be shut out, and seems very likely that they could end up in that promotion tournament. Still have a chance that they could come back, find that win like we saw from Mighty AOD over Kongju Panthera. But we'll see how they want to move forward with this one. Because honestly, maybe this is just practice time. Maybe you just use these next couple games to get ready to have that additional practice, that high-level scrim
That's
going up, as you get ready to go into a placement tournament.
That's basically how it feels, right? That's why they're running Tyrant, perhaps. If they thought even with the Envy they couldn't make it work, they want to give Tyrant the opportunity to play before going to those promotions, have that ability to have him in the booth, in front of the crowd, get the nerves out. His hesitation to pop the Dragon Blade there, partially due to the fact that his teammates weren't going to drop the protection to allow him to use it, but maybe he just didn't feel comfortable. Anyways, I mean, a big gamble here for the Wings. It didn't pay off, but there's a lot to learn now for this player.
For sure. Work to be done, but like you said, getting those land jitters out of the way. We saw them from Nico when Rogue made their debut here in Korea. We saw how that went for him, but now let's go ahead, load up for our second map. See if it's going to be a match point for Meta Athena as we go to Kings Row.
Get it?
Wings fans still holding on there.
Yeah, you got to. It's not over till it's over. Even though their chances of the tournament are out, there's fight money on the line.
You're not a real fan, if you only stick with them through the highs, you need to be there during the lows as well.
Absolutely. Well, I don't know about this. So we'll see if it is the Reaper Symmetra defense composition.
This is actually the next level strategy. You put all of your turrets by your spawn.
They can't get into your spawn that way.
I mean, you saw Wings getting spawn camped there on Shrine, so it can't happen if you have this setup that Meta Athena's going with. So take notes, solo queue players.
Yeah, this is the way. This is how you keep people from getting into your spawn. Yeah, exactly. It won't necessarily protect the point, but I know you're playing solo queue, so winning isn't always your goal. At least my teammates, definitely it's not. So we'll see these switch into a normal composition here. Saya player actually going to be running the Soldier. We may see him switch to the Widow on attack. It's going to be Oxo who serves that role, at least initially here. We'll see how long he sticks with it. No Mercy to pair. Just going to be the Zenyatta Discord snipes we're looking for.
There's a Reinhardt shield for everybody to park behind, so yeah, it seems like Oxo's just going to go ahead, swap off this one immediately, and we'll just have that dive coming through from the side of Wings.
So more turtley set up here for Meta with Hoon on the Zarya as usual. Saya already doing a ton of damage. Mango's picked off. It's like Umte will fall the same fate. Fury actually has fallen first. They actually do get 2 reverse picks here, but they still are not getting them any closer to the point, so it's going to be a reset.
Yeah, the deflect kill comes through, does take down the Ana there, but still, it's going to be Meta Athena able to park themselves very far forward. Chonsik does go low, has to kite back into the archway. Gets himself healed back up before they can move back in to get this contest on the point. First tick comes through for the side of Wings. Tyrant going to go very aggressively, jumps up into the face of Side Player, immediately throws down that biotic field, keeps himself alive and actually takes him down in the meantime. Also dashing around, nearly has the pulse bomb available. Uses all of his dash charges to get himself out to safety. We'll see if he can find a target and open up something here for Wings, but for now Umte goes down, and that's going to be a nice little stopper on this
Fury
push.
dove in to try to kill Saya Player there, or at least to disrupt his position. Wasn't able to do anything there, so wasn't protecting his teammates at all during that time, and I think that was where the extra DPS was coming in. Even though Saya Player was temporarily tied up, Oxo couldn't find anything, no protection from the D.Va. So kind of a bit trigger happy in terms of that fight there.
That's going to be the sound barrier coming down. The pulse bomb does find Hoon, but Saya Player popping the attack visor finds Umte, and that's going to be the nano boost coming through to double kill. Already picked up off the backside of that massive Earth Shatter from Chonsik. This means that Wings gets swept under the rug immediately there by Meta Athena.
I mean, the pulse bomb onto the D.Va to seal the deal, not even necessary. And now this is the scariest part of dealing with Meta Athena's defense on this map on Dorado is, of course, dealing with Hoon's Graviton Surge. He's going to have it in 10 seconds. Nothing to pair with it, but his placement of his Graviton Surges alone can sometimes do the job, especially because he knows how to manage his energy levels. He usually will place these when near at full energy.
Yeah, I mean, that was a massive commitment as far as the ultimates are concerned. You can see Wings now having plenty of their own. Will be pushing forward. Transcendence thrown down here by Mango, but Oxo already falls. Helix Rockets find Amy on the backside of the fight, and Tyrant with the Dragon Blade cuts his way to a double kill so far. Can't really find much else, but that might just be the opening here. Yeah, it's just Libero up to try and delay. He gets hit with that Discord Orb, has to hightail it out of there, tries to keep himself alive. Will do so, but the cap finally comes through for Wings. 4 minutes on the clock.
Yep, did it even though Hoon had the Graviton Surge because, as mentioned, there was nothing to pair, and Fury was constantly positioning himself to make sure the defense matrix would be ready for that. He knows it's available, of course. Just scouting up here a little bit as Hoon's poking. They may try to drop the Graviton Surge in this archway as the payload swings through. That's always a big opportunity.
He's going to be diving straight down off the high ground in onto the payload. Hoon's going low. He's going to get picked off here first and foremost. Libero does find Mango on the backside of the fight. Now that tanky frontline going to be crippled a bit. Another Earth Shatter coming through here from Chonsik. Finds multiple members. Pulse Bomb comes out. Only clips Chris, but Oxo follows up for the Reinhardt. So still winning out on this exchange overall is Wings. They get a lot of ultimates from the side of Meta Athena. And Hoon, payload has not been moving is the only issue.
The defense here for Meta Athena was all around Hoon's Graviton Surge, so they went in for the dive. He looked for the angle to drop it, but died right as he did. It was eaten by the D.Va defense matrix anyways, so it didn't even go off. He was dead. No one could protect Saya Player because Chongshik was actually forced to turn his shield around, so that's when Oxo came in with the amazing Pulse Bomb, then killed Saya Player afterwards. So a very all-in defense attempt, and now we see the switch back into the D.Va here for Hoon as he knows that that archway is really the last Alamo in terms of Zarya play for the map.
Yep, self-destruct tossed out here from Fury. Doesn't find anything this time around. No more double kills for him. Bomb does come through. Not really going to pop him out. Takes him dangerously low, but the Transcendence comes down from Mango, helping to keep him alive. Tac Visor out from Sai on the backside of the fight, but the defense matrix is there to just chew through the majority of that. Off screen, Umte does go down right as the sound barrier hits for the side of Wings. So operating with just the one tank, and it's Fury. He's playing very far back away from the payload, but they're still just picking up kills. Both supports the side of Meta Athena out of position, get taken down.
I feel like Fury is carrying this team so hard right now. It was Focus Fury was what Meta Athena was saying in the interview, but Fury's positioning in terms of protection and defensive placement instead of being aggressive. We saw him over-aggressive early on the first attack, but now that he's kind of stepped back and he's taken this more defensive positioning, feels like Meta Athena is having some struggles to harass. Which is giving, of course, Oxo more opportunities himself to be doing just that. Yes. Chongshik's gonna look for the Earth Shatter.
Yeah, finds another one here, does knock down Fury, tries to pop him out of the back, will get him in the end. It's gonna be a nice little stop here for the side of Meta Athena, right in front of this point B. So Stitch contest there, does pay off for them. Runaway coming through for Amy. Gets taken down by Saya Player, actually.
Kill steal. Kill stolen. So I was like, you can't handle it? I got him.
Saya Player is always there to pick up the pieces. So the rollback now starting to come through onto the payload. If Meta Athena can hold here, A couple ultimates available.
Yeah,
Nothing as far as zone control, so no more Earth Shatter, no self-destruct for a while.
they're going to have a lot of tools very soon. They're going to have one big 6 ultimate push, or they're going to stagger the ults to, have the Sound Barrier, Dragon Blade, then the Transcendence come up, the Primal Rage. These things are almost ready for Rhinos Gaming, but they need to make sure that they count to get that checkpoint. Libero already harassing here in the back line, trying to knock this Winston out. Umte actually very low, doesn't have his Primal Rage yet, so a good target here for Libero.
Oh, he makes it out with just a sliver of HP. Will get popped back up, and that's going to give Mango the Transcendence over to the side. Pulse Bomb comes through, not going to find anything here. It's going to be a double Sound Barrier. Side player operating up onto this high ground, trying to build up for that Tac Visor. Gets jumped on by Fury, goes straight into his face, drops down that self-destruct. Earth Shatter out from Chauncey. He's got a couple members, and Hoon finds a kill on the Fury with that self-destruct of his own. Pulse Bomb down by Oxo, gets rid of the Reinhardt, but Side player now with the Tac Visor, dangerously low, still comes up with a triple kill. Stops the push, and now it's just 20 seconds left for Wings.
Yeah, just some not very good coordination there. They used all of their ults there defensively before they had the Dragon Blade ready. Tyrant didn't have it for so long. I don't know where he was, but he wasn't finding that last 20% he needed for the ult. And that was the beginning of the end. Tyrant pops it at the last second, but dies immediately. The Saya player's Tac Visor. No one's there to protect. They're going to have one Hail Mary push left in them. See if they can take this, Achilleos.
Yeah, just a couple meters to go, but nobody on the payload right now. It's just ticking down. Can they tag it? No, they can't. Umte way too late on the leap in. Doesn't get the contest. And Meta Athena managed to get that hold right in front of point B.
Feel C9, man. Well, we'll see if...
That was a bad one.
Yeah,
that was actually really
let's see if they can have a miracle defense here, because it feels like Meta Athena is just going to walk away with this second one. A very weak push. Just when you have Transcendence and the Sound Barrier and your Genji's at 88%, if you end up popping your Sound Barrier because they pop the Sound Barrier and your Genji doesn't have it, you shouldn't be doing that. You should wait. Even if you die when they have their Sound Barrier up, you will have one more push where you have the ability to pair those together. Tyrant was the crux of that attack, the crux of that push. Just didn't have the Dragon Blade. Both defensive healing ultimates were used. He couldn't use his Dragon Blade till the end, where Fury was already popped out of the mech. They committed all their ults. Just, it was a disaster. It was messy.
I mean, we don't really expect much when it comes down to the ultimate usage from Wings. It has been one of the poorer aspects of their play throughout the duration of, promotion tournament moving into Apex. So it's not that shocking, though unfortunate, I guess we could say. But let's see what they want to operate with. Seems like they're actually not going to be going for anything too crazy. Thought maybe they would opt in for that triple support style to try to go for the full hold on to point A.
That's one of the better ways you can obviously approach a situation like this when you have such a weak push. Looks like they kind of want to mirror what Meta Athena did, minus the Hoon Zarya. They're going to have Fury, of course, on his trademark Diva. So it's just going to be kind of standard 2-2-2 in terms of ranged on King's Row. Libero's going to look for the Scout to start things off.
Perhaps not.
Perhaps not.
All right, yeah. He's just going to go ahead and start things off. With the Genji, seems like he has a decent idea of what to expect from the side of Wings as they get ready for this push. Dive in full effect for the side of Meta Athena. Looks Rockets a little bit too early there from Tyrant. Clips the windows before it opens. Side players immediately going into the back line where there's a discorded Amy. Can't quite get on top of him though. Good gatekeeping coming through from Fury.
Saya player just harassing here at the back, trying to force Umte to turn that barrier around. Actually looking to find perhaps Lucio, who had to step back.
It's taken really low. A couple more shots would find it. They jump forward, and Amy just desperately trying to put himself into the corner. Gets taken down, so big opening already for the side of Meta Athena. Who does get popped into the mech, but straight into the house. It was pretty much everybody, and Libero is just right-clicking for free, hitting everybody. They pop Fury out of the mech. They will take him down, and that's going to be the cap. Very early, very swift for Meta Athena. They're going to have plenty of time. Just need to make it right in front of B.
Not entirely sure why Amy was at the back there, but perhaps just running away from the damage that was coming out from Libero and company. So when he came to the back, he ended up getting picked off by Saya player, who's already disrupting the Reinhardt line, which further put more pressure on Umte for them to force him to retreat into that hotel, in that little room there. Umte got a lot of damage done with his left-click swings, but they were cornered there, and the shield wasn't very effective. So pretty textbook attack on the side of Meta Athena, and the Wings just couldn't deal with Saya player's pressure.
A couple exchanges coming through here for Wings, though, on the defense. So nice little pickups. Tyrant very far forward on this high ground. Actually, does help take down Chauncey in the end. Looked like maybe he was going to be in a bit of a danger, but they come up with the kill.
Yep, going to be the hold for now. very firmly, but a lot of tools coming up here again for Meta Athena. The Dragon Blade is going to be the big one. Transcendence is going to be up in just a moment. We'll see if they pair it together or if we're just going to see Libero go in. They retake this position. Rhinos Gaming Wings looking to set up, just allowing them to shove through this streets phase. As side players are like, where are they?
Well, they're playing really far back is where they are, and if Saya player can find himself with a nice little flank. As I say that, though, he goes dangerously low. Helix Rockets do clip him. Meanwhile, Libero drawing out the Dragon Blade, gets taken out. Umte finds him, and Libero doesn't pick up a single kill, but very far forward now is Meta Athena as they just try to sweep right through Wings. Tyrant goes down, self-destruct tossed out, does find the Winston. So a bit of a pickup here for the side of Rhinos, but still dangerously close is this payload. Meta Athena keeping it rolling.
Oxo's just trying to find anything, but he has a pulse bomb, so we'll actually get the pick on the Nuss, which is nice. I was going to say, if he doesn't get anything and gets picked for it, it's completely worthless since he's not even building ultimate charge right now. Already holds the pulse bomb. Well, this push is continuing here, and Meta Athena is going to have, with this large timing, so much to work with. Here comes a pulse bomb.
Comes out, yeah, not really going to find the stick, doesn't find the kill. Transcendence comes through, and meanwhile, Ox on the other side throws out a pulse bomb in the zone, takes down Libero. Decent trading coming through for Wings. Hoon gets taken out, the 2-for-1 so far as they keep posturing forward, holding on to this payload. Just a couple more meters to go and still 3.5 minutes, so very much in the favor of Meta Athena still, but this is the kind of defense that Wings needs to have if they want to keep their hopes alive of just, taking a map, taking this series.
Yeah, bringing this series into just making it a series, right? So, I mean, obviously, with this huge time bank, the weakness of what Rhinos Gaming's Wings did where they played super far back is that it gives them a huge time bank. Meta Athena has a huge time bank to try to get this completion now. Yeah. They didn't get wiped and just lose straight away, but they lost a lot of time, so there's so many more pushes now for Meta to work with.
On the sound barrier out here for Wings, they find Nuss right off the bat, but the payload is just getting worked in. That's going to be the self-destruct thrown
They
down
dive
from
on it.
Moon. Doesn't find anything, but still just a couple more meters left to go to get this completion. Wings have to stay on top of this. You can see Umti popping that Primal Rage, looking for a target, does take down Libero, and Chunsik will die. But for a second, that almost got back-capped by Hoon.
A very haphazard attack by Meta Athena, but again, they have this large time bank that allows for pushes like this, which allows for techniques like this to be utilized. If Rhinos Gaming Wings messes up again, they C9 one more time, and then that's the cap. So
I mean, at that point, it's no longer a C9 meme, it's a Wings meme.
It's exactly.
Rhinos takes the helm of it.
So, I mean, if that back cap happened, it would have looked smart, but now it just looks like, okay, they burned some of their time. Close call for Rhinos Gaming, though. Nearly actually had the completion. But Hoon is now missing that important self-destruct. Looks like they want to fight with the Dragon Blade, though. Libero already with the pick on the Tyrant on the high ground.
Yeah, he takes him out, and that's going to be Mango going down. Self-destruct from Fury does find Chris, so getting rid of that Lucio. Going to be pretty crucial, but that's going to be the Dragon Blade out here from Libero. Still, yet again, cannot find a pick. It's taken down by Fury, but Umte traded off by Changsik.
No Transcendence heals for that Dragon Blade, so just couldn't be kept alive there.
Fury popped out of the Mac. Should be taken down here. They leap back in. It's the last one on the payload. It's going to keep pushing forward, and now the boot back comes through. That should just about be the completion you'd have to expect. Amy getting knocked off, pushes forward right into the dock. It's almost there. 1 meter left to go as they desperately try to stick in here. Umte immediately getting that Discord Orb. Gets taken down. And that's King's Row going over to Meta Athena now at match point.
There you have it. I mean, it felt like the real story for, in terms of success, Rhinos Gaming Wings was Fury. His positioning defensively was really good. And every time Meta Athena had a big shove or a good team fight, it was always because they killed Fury first. Then Saya player comes and just kills everybody with Tracer. So it's like, no Diva, no way you're winning the fight every single time. So even though he was positioning himself more conservatively, more towards the back to protect his teammates, when Meta Athena had the focus fire, when they knocked him out of the fight, no one could deal with Saya player, and it's kind of just how Meta Athena plays, right? You leave Saya player room to work with, and he will just rip through everybody.
So, I mean, nothing too shocking. I mean, we even heard from Meta Athena that was going to be their game plan. Focus down Fury. You get rid of him. The rest of it's easy. They said that, Rhinos Gaming Wings are going to help us into the round of 8, and they're certainly doing that right now. But match point now over to Meta Athena. Could just close this one up very swiftly with a 3-0.
Really got a feel for the Wings here. They lost their chances in the round of 8, and now they might find themselves humiliated with a 3-0 defeat. We're going to go to a short commercial break to see if Meta Athena is going to take it 3-0.
Hex Season 3. It was against BK Stars. That 1-3 loss for them. And this was also where we saw them debut the quad DPS composition that they pieced together, and then also we saw the Torbjorn on defense. So maybe Wings going to be running that again. I don't know if they want to stick to something a bit more standard, but it seems like Meta Athena always have some sort of ritual that they do. This is how Saya player is really good. They kind of like pour a little bit of their energy into him, their essence.
Yeah, they had the battle plan drawn out in that hologram. They were all standing out there like, oh, okay, yeah, that's what we're going to play. Yeah, all right. Well, Libero on the Sombra, so this is one of the big variables going into this best of 5 for me is when we see Libero on the Sombra, we see Sombra being played by Nuss, for example. Where was the Sombra going to be played? Would he be played at all? So just from what we've seen from Meta Athena so far in Volskaya, they don't really like to run it, so this is a change already. Coming out on the defense, going to be actually the double support with the Sombra, so not actually sacrificing any healing for this. So they're going to have the health pack healing and Libero's additional, or sorry, Chris and Nuss's additional 2 healer heals coming in.
All right, he's going to be pushing up the right-hand side onto that high ground. See Meta Athena just kind of hovering around the garage and in onto the point. Working as a unit, getting ready to push around the side. Speed boost coming through. They start scoping out, trying to find some picks. Health pack already been hacked up there by Libero. So won't be able to utilize that as they play inside this garage.
So it's really going to be important in terms of coordination with Changsik and Saya player targeting down whoever Libero hacks here. It's a very intense composition they're running, very difficult to execute with just really the 2 DPSs here, but Libero being a weaker one on the Sombra, just looking for that hacking and kind of locking them now into this garage.
Yeah, the same piled up here, so it's just going to be a bit of a mess as the spray just comes through from the Sombra, firing in, somewhat blindly, going to build up for that EMP, but the pick's starting to come through here for Wings. They find Super Luzumti on the exchange. Chris takes him down. He's running around trying to keep himself alive. Looks like he will do so as that EMP comes through from Libero, helping him out. It's a hack back in on the health pack. They pop Fury out of the mech, should be able to take him down, and that's going to be the sound barrier in for Wings as they try to push forward and stay in onto the point. Tyrant coming through with the Dragon Blade, comes over the double kill, taking out both supports on the side of Meta Athena. Just cut right through him, hot knife through butter. Saya player dangerously low, found a kill with that pulse bomb onto Mango. The first tick still hasn't hit for Wings. So somehow, some way, even with all those kills spilling forth for them, they can't quite get that cap coming through yet.
Yeah, just not able to consistently hold it. Self-destruct may be able to help them here. Not going to get any picks though, and already Sai players buying a lot of time. Changsik's now back with the Primal Rage.
Okay, just smacking away where he can, looking for that kill in onto Tyrant. Snapping him as he retreats, jumps for it, has the leap there. We'll find Mango instead as they keep trying to work him down. Pulse bomb not quite going to connect, so Mango's still going to be safe. Pops down that biotic grenade, and they'll find Changsik in the end.
It feels like Meta Athena doesn't have enough damage, they're unable to coordinate all 3, Changsik, Saya, and Libero together on any single target. So perhaps I spoke too soon as they pick off Fury at least here, but that's going to be all they get. They don't end up holding this first point. So took a few tries there for Rhinos Gaming Wings, but they ran the more standard composition, the comp they're better at the dive. And Meta Athena just could not answer. The hacks just weren't good, and when they did have hacks, there was just no way to target down those players. They're going to stick with the Sombra, of course. He's arguably even stronger on this point. Does have another EMP available.
Yeah, still going to be in a good spot. He's wrapping on the backside while all of these members of Wings are at. Drops down the EMP, leaps back to safety as the rest of the team starts pushing forward. But Side player, he got slept. He gets taken out. They will find Mango and Tyrant. They both fall very swiftly. Hoon with a self-destruct. Quite going to get anything. Pops back into the mech, but the pulse bomb will immediately drag him right back out into that baby diva form as he's trying to stay alive. Pushes forward, straight into the face of Umti fearlessly. He is able to take him down. We'll have that mech back up, ready to go very shortly, already at 87%.
And also giving Libero more charge there by getting the health packs instead of just jumping off the side, surviving there. So we'll have his mech back up, Libero nearly with an EMP. The biggest concern is when the EMPs go down, Saya player can get the kills, and he died immediately with a sleep dart coming down, so that was really unfortunate, but it was actually Nuss that actually came in and did the majority of the damage there to buy the time for Changsik to come in and clean up. So pretty impressive, all things considered. Even though Saya player died there, they still had such a great team fight.
Well, that's going to be the nano boost in onto the Dragon Blade. Sound barrier thrown down. It's going to draw out that Transcendence as all of Meta Athena just starts pushing forward. Now EMP hit comes through from Libero. And Meta Athena yet again just going to be looking to stomp out Wings. Already take down Mango. They knock Fury out of the mix. They will kill him in the end. And they are just going to be perfectly fine to build up for another EMP. Still have that Primal Rage available. Buy themselves some time.
Jongsik gives the salute as we've seen a bit of camp spawning, or spawn camping from Meta Athena in this best of 5 already with Nepal. Just gives a salute as they look for another defense. Libero only at 20%. He's just not able to harass anybody right now as Rhino's just waiting for a big 6-man push, not trickling anybody in. And no health packs being taken as everyone's at full health for Meta. This maybe is the strat for Rhinos, is to try to engage, not give any EMP charge.
I mean, that's going to be so difficult because right now they really do need to do a couple eco pushes and try to build up, especially for Tyrant with that Dragon Blade. Because right now, Gus is going to be beating him out, getting to that Transcendence faster than the Genji can get his ultimate. So it's just going to be a rough spot. The EMPs, no matter what, are pretty much going to be available here for Liberos. There's just no way to avoid that.
Yeah, I mean, already at 82%, so they did that one eco push. Didn't get the Dragon Blade, only got half of it. They have self-destruct, but it's not even worth
They
engaging.
barely got anything.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even worth engaging right now. And Libero's just going to, again, wait patiently for the right moment to EMP. Even though he's going to have it so early, he doesn't even necessarily need to use it. Has it now, 99%, gets another hack, and the cycle continues here. Let's see if Rhinos commits anything to this dive in.
Well, already Mango's been taken out. They do find Nuss as Empty jumps into the backside, and Chris has been taken out as well, so both support's dead. EMP coming down here from Libero gets picked off immediately as Empty finds the kill. Athena will have that faster run back as it gets built back in onto the point where the first tick still hasn't come through. Saya player has that pulse bomb ready to go. Hasn't felt the need to push it out yet. Hasn't really found a prime target for it either. Just operating around the backside. Gets into a little bit of a tracer battle with Oxo. Looks like both of them will go their separate ways. Saya player pushes back forward in front of the point yet again. Almost takes down Mango to start things off.
This was
aggressive push out of the base, but looks like they'll just let him settle.
This was really good for the Wings regardless because they forced out the EMP, and now they have a push where they could have a 6 ult attack, the full ult push with no EMP against them. So they forced out the EMP, and this is a big win, a big trade for them. See if they can make this 6 ult push. If they can't make this work, man, I don't know if they're going to win a game in this series. Let's see.
We've already seen teams throw with 6 ultimates. Something mighty AOD. See the opening coming through. Nuss going to get jumped on. Has to pop the Transcendence. Drops down in onto the low ground. Heal up the rest of his squad. Libero nowhere near that EMP at the moment, but still, it's going to be the support kills coming through as Amy and Mango both go down. Dragon Blade out from Tyrant, but he gets picked off. The Pulse Bomb from Saya player takes him out. Multiple ultis invested there from the side of Wings. Oxo just going to get clipped right off the back.
It felt like a panic engage. As soon as they
still just don't get anything.
As soon as they felt like they were going to get the pick onto Nuss, they dove in and used all their ultimates, but they were fighting mostly into that Transcendence that he used to survive. So much was used there, notably the Dragon Blade. So Tyrant's actually going to switch now onto the Soldier, knowing he can perhaps accomplish more because he's probably not going to have a Dragon Blade for the rest of this game. 65 seconds to go here on the clock.
Yeah, a minute left to go. There's no real way for him to reliably build that up. But in the meantime, Libero, another EMP getting ready to come through. He knows this, is sprinting into the backside. Just a couple more seconds, and it will be available as they push forward. Finds an opening in on the Mango, takes him down to about half HP, drops down the EMP, and that's all she wrote for the Zenyatta. He gets taken out. Moon popped down to the neck, but Saya player into the backside, comes up with a double kill, gets rid of Oxo and Tyrant. The DPS from Wings completely shattered, and it's just Amy. All that is left with 35 seconds on the clock. One more push, a desperate one.
Yeah,
That's all that Wings have.
The Primal Rage is going to have to try to buy them time to get maybe attack visor. Perhaps the self-destruct gets paired with that so they can maybe have a sound barrier to guarantee that attack visor. There's a lot of ifs with this one, Achilles, but I'm not so sure. The one thing they do know for sure is that EMP is not going to be available, so this is a huge opportunity for them. It's not the strongest push they have, but they need to make this work.
He can definitely build one up before the fight is over. Self-destruct tossed out. I think he sent that one just a little bit too deep, but actually still finds Chris on the backside of the point, getting rid of the Lucio. A nice opening here for Wings as they start piling in onto the point. Self-destruct will come down from the side of Hoon, tosses that out, won't find any kills. First tick still not coming through for the side of Wings as we're into overtime, but Jongsik and Saya player both getting picked off, and Nuss is a little bit too late with that Transcendence, can't keep them alive. Pushing in yet again, trying to stay forward onto the point. Chris hopping around, trying to buy as much time as possible. The sound barrier getting ready to come through. A very delayed one by Amy, but it does drop down, does catch 4 members of Wings. Saya player's back in, has the pulse bomb in onto Umthi, takes him out. Mango goes down. It looks like this might just be it. Discord Orb onto Amy, finishes him off. And Meta Athena close out that right there.
Yep.
Do not allow that second cap to come through.
Stopping the completion of point B. really well done. I feel like crisis management for Meta Athena was really good, especially in those last few pushes where they dealt with the big dive-ins. And as soon as things like we saw Nuss popping his Transcendence happen, that's when Rhino's Gaming Wings fell apart. They couldn't pair their ults together. Tyrant was never able to get, and it feels like he will never have in this series, a really nicely paired Dragon Blade when it matters most. He's had a few inconsequential ones, but in moments like that where he needed the pairing, where he needed to have the amazing Dragon Blade, it just has not been happening. So big commitments to fights that were incorrect against the Transcendence, for example, from Wings, and this team just feels mechanically behind Meta Athena. And, I mean, they are, right? So this is, I feel like, kind of what we expected to see in this best of 5, but it's a bit sad if you're a Wings fan. So they've got one big defense they're going to have left here. 4 minutes on the clock for Meta Athena. Or sorry, yes, just starting things off, of course. They don't start with the first one. They're likely to get it. We'll see how they want to do that.
I mean, they really don't even have to accrue much. Just going to be that 33%. For the side of Meta Athena on point B to find themselves with a 3-0 victory. It's been under an hour of gameplay so far, Wolf. So a very swift one. Even though King's Row is a bit messy from Meta Athena. And the start of the Paul as well. But otherwise, it's been a very quick series so far.
Well, Mango will flex onto the Sombra, which is obviously a great hero for him since he plays even the Tracer, so very similar heroes in terms of functionality and TPS. So
Saya, don't swap.
Oh,
I want to see the Widowmaker.
I wanted to see it too, but I guess it's not going to be the way, not this time, not for this first push.
Save that one for the round of 8.
They want to have the best time bank possible to retake point B to just instantly win this map and the series. So we see the aggressive steal here on the health pack. That's actually huge. Mango didn't actually have that hacked, so just removing a lot of the healing that Rhino's Gaming Wings are relying on now.
Yeah, take that one away. Can't quite get to the 200 HP one inside the garage yet. Oh, looks like he does. Yeah, it's going to be Mango having that one. Control over that at the moment. Fury jumps forward. Discord Orb comes down. The defense matrix up to try to keep himself alive, but still gets knocked out of the mech. It's going to be an exchange of the mechs here from the side of the Divas, but Hoon will be taken out in the end. Fury's still running around.
Oh, look at the accuracy here from Saya player. Gets hacked. Oh, Solo drops off. Barely gets taken up by a Tyrant who had like 10 HP left, but he actually will get killed by the jump from Changshik. As Mango's trying to do what he can, but this is going to be, looks like perhaps just the cap here. Mango is hacked, can't even EMP, just jumps off the side to save his ult, and that's going to be a much faster first cap here for Meta Athena.
I mean, you're looking at almost 7 minutes on the clock here for Meta Athena just to get the 33% to come through. So everything in their favor at the moment. The only thing that really Wings have going for them is going to be that EMP that Mango's holding on to at the moment. But can he find the setup and can they capitalize? He's going to go ahead, throws this one down. Both the tanks going to be denied. He will jump away, but Fury's still going low, gets knocked at the mechanism. He's going to go down to the front line here for Wings, taken out. And the Transcendence pushing forward. Meta Athena just working their way in onto the point. Tac visor thrown down by Saya player. Turns around, finds Amy, takes out Mango.
What a
and
play.
They're already halfway there. That should be it. There we go. Meta Athena very swiftly take down Rhino's Gaming Wings on Volskaya. Very swiftly take them down in this set. Already confirmed themselves for the round of 8, but now they go forward with another victory under their belt.
Another thing that we didn't really touch on too much is with the group selection looming after our second best of 5, how well Meta Athena played here actually is a big factor, as they don't want to be chosen by the top tier upper echelon of Apex group selection. You don't want to be picked by Lunatic High, for example. So as Toby will be Lunatic High's representative tonight, Toby's sitting back there watching, and he's probably like, okay, solid performance. One of our more one-sided series in Apex, definitely up there in terms of quick best of 5s. They did that last push without even having Libero's EMP. When I saw the EMP come out for Mango, I thought, okay, they reset with their own EMP, and then they're going to have almost 6 ultimates with that, so that was going to be their game plan, but they got 2 picks regardless. Under EMP, mind you, still took that point. I mean, this is definitely a dominant series by Meta Athena. They were the big favorites, but even I couldn't have predicted this was going to be so one-sided. Like, this one-sided. Insane. Mango is back in the chair. Tyrant's performance tonight, I feel like, definitely mixed reviews, having decent Dragon Blades when his team was coordinated with him, but it felt like oftentimes he held on to the Dragon Blade too long or couldn't pair it with the Transcendence or the Sound Barrier. Envy, absolutely, at least so far, the better Genji player, but this is how you get a player exposure. This is how you train him up and make him a more viable substitute going forward. So, at least in that regard, Rhinos Gaming Wings trained him a little bit here, got some of the jitters out.
As a start, you know, it's okay. This was the time that you were going to have to use him because, I mean, the likelihood of getting that 3-0 victory was going to be so slim anyway. So I do just want to go ahead, give Tyrant some playtime on the stage in front of the crowd.